today I want to share on how to file your returns if you're a consultant. That means you don't have a regular income, or you have regular employment income but you're also a consultant somewhere else. So it means wherever you are consulting, that partner, business partner, wherever, has withheld 5% of your income, and now you have to declare your returns at the end of the year. So in our previous video, we shared on employment income only. So today I want to share for those who have consultancy income, that is, they have withholding certificates, and you might even have withholding certificate from investment, your investment policy somewhere. If you are trading in the money market and the rest, you'll find that you have a withholding certificate. So allow me to take you through the process by sharing my screen.
Yes, so you have to first log in to your Itax, and once you log in, you now check your withholding certificates the withholding certificates that you have, and you have to go to this certificates tab, and then you select the first one. This is where you get withholding certificates regarding income tax, because all these, as you can see, all these others regards that is for rental income, and the rest you have for VAT, we have for rental income, we have for voluntary tax disclosure, and all that. So you select the first one, which is reprint withholding tax certificate. Once you get here, you don't have to specify anything, just click on consult. And so once you click on consult, you'll get all the certificates that has been withheld by whatever party you are dealing with. Is where you're consulting or where you're getting your income from, and withholding tax has been deducted. So you'll see the certificate date and the tax, the withholding certificate number. So you click here to download. You click anywhere to download, and from there you'll get such a document like this is mine, and you'll see like you have the transaction date. So we are interested in those whose transaction date is 2022. For instance, this one of mine is 14th December 2022. Yeah, so this is the gross amount, and then we have the withholding tax rate and all that, and the amount that is withheld. So once you have these plus other, now it depends on the source of your withholding tax. So now you need a summary of that income. So assuming you had 10 certificates, you had 15 certificates, 1 certificates, and all that, you need the summary of that income, because that is what is chargeable to tax. So you have a summary of your income for that particular period, and then also the allowable expenses. Once you have that, you come to this Excel sheet. So as usual, you have to key in your PIN, of course. I don't know if that is the number of you have entered. I should add one. Yeah, so you key in your PIN. The type of return, of course, is original, unless you are doing a rectification, is when you select amended. But in this case, I'm assuming we are doing an original. You key in the period. If you are doing for 2022, you key in. If for the previous period, whichever period you are working on, so you key in. So, and in this case, of course, for 2022, I'm assuming that you are also remitting funds to NHIF, so you have to allow your insurance policy. Do you have a life insurance policy? You have to allow this, just say yes. And then the key thing now, how that withholding tax come in, is this question here. Do you have any income other than employment income? You have to say yes, because for employment income is where we do the normal pay and you get a P9 from your employer. We have a video in this channel for that, you can always check. But now here we are not talking of employment, we are talking of consulting income. So once you have allowed that, these other sheets will automatically be allowed for you to see. So you now move to the profit and loss account. That is the sheet that has the profit and loss. So this is where you now key in your expenses, your income, everything. From the summary that you have, ensure that you have this summary. First, the most important thing is the schedule of income that is chargeable to tax. How much income was deducted, was subjected to withholding tax, whatever withholding tax that you already have in your account. Then second, you have a summary of expenses that actually relate to that particular amount. We call them allowable expenses. So assuming like maybe you are a consultant somewhere, you are consulting, so you'll have expenses in regards to that particular consulting income. Maybe you spent on transport to visit that particular client. You met with the client and maybe had some lunch somewhere that is, I'll call it in this case, entertainment. You spent maybe on internet because you are doing things online for that particular client. So you have an internet expense. You have communication expense. You make calls. Maybe you are doing research for that particular company and you made trips to visit the respondents or to make some observations somewhere, if it is maybe a qualitative form of research in that case. Like the expenses that relate to you earning that income. You need that summary for you to go ahead. So you classify here where you're getting that income from. So you can see you have other, you have commission, you have interest, you have rental, you have farming, you have business, etc. So in this case, if it was just a consulting income that you did somewhere, of course, it will fall under here. If it is interest, maybe from a money market account, you had invested somewhere, so it falls there. If it is commission, maybe you are issuing loans and you get a commission and then it was deducted, so you fill the respective place here. If it is business for someone who is self-employed, and in this case, we are not talking about the certificates. You have like employment, no, not employment, but business income. You always put it here. So there, you move to the purchases. What is it that you purchased in regards to earning that income? Let me talk, for instance, you are talking of consulting income. Maybe you purchased maybe a diary in regards to that particular income. You're making notes on something that you purchased to allow you get that income. That is what you will do it there. And the other thing is now other expenses, which I talked of. You scroll down here and you have operating expenses. Maybe you advertised for you to get that income. You paid someone to market. Maybe even you paid a social media influencer to share something that, oh, I'm doing this particular um, business, or I'm offering this service. Please share on your platform, and then I get clients. And from that expense, you got some clients for the same. Maybe you are doing legal service, maybe you are doing delivery business, and from that you had it marketed by a person, and then you paid something to that person. You pay 10,000 to an influencer, 20,000. You have to indicate it there. If you had audit expenses, maybe your consultancy income is so huge and to the extent that you need an external auditor, and that person has already charged something. So you need to keep your audit expenses there. As I said, entertainment. Maybe you had lunch with your client, you freight and transport, you spent maybe moving from one point to another. In order for you to that, remember every income that you are keying in here is in regards to that, it relates to that income you spent for you to earn that money. So you have all your summary. You fueled your car. You have all the summary of expenses. You key in there. So once you've keyed in there, of course you'll get everything. You'll see your profitable position. That is the amount that will be taxed and all that. You move to the next sheet, that is the balance sheet. And in this case, maybe for consulting income, you don't even actually have maybe like a premise or something, so you don't have much of assets. Just ensure that whatever you key in here, you apply the accounting equation. That is the assets, it is called liabilities plus capital. And if you don't have any like liability or assets, just go to maybe trade receivables, or here bank balance. Maybe you just even keep like a shilling, and then you move to the assets. On proprietor's capital, you just keep one, so you put one on those sides. But if you have like assets which are been clearly indicated, ensure that you keep them here properly, so that your balance sheet actually balances, because it won't balance if the same has not been kept. So I realize that most people, you'll find that they don't have these things. So you work as I've said. So from there, you move to employment income. If you had employment income apart from your consultancy income, please ensure that you keyed it there. So computation of insurance relief, if you paid NHIF or have an insurance policy, key in the details here. I have a video that shows how you should key in this, so please check, if just in case you are not familiar with it. So the details of pay, of course, we have the installment tax. So if you paid installment tax in the course of the year, maybe you are getting maybe an income of 100,000 from that withholding, from that consulting business, and you paid installment tax so that it will ease your burden at the end of the financial year. So you have to key in here maybe the payment registration. Make sure you capture this correctly from the payment slip that you'd used. So you do the payment registration, the date of the deposit, and the amount of withholding tax that was paid. So from there, if you have any previous year losses, make sure that you keyed in here as well, and those losses have to be specified. If it was from commission, from interest, from business, everything. Ensure that this has been captured clearly. So when you go to income tax computation, this is where you need to be very careful as well. So here, this is where you have computation. Here you have, sorry, so here you have to add back any disallowable expenses that were declared in the P&L, and there are specific disallowable expenses. So it depends with expenses that you had, and there are those which are not allowable for tax purposes. They have to be added back. So ensure that you add them back here. So from there, you now move to the last tab, that is on tax computation. Oh my Excel. Yeah, so we are there. So tax computation, we are there. So on personal relief, ensure you keep relief. You key in the relief for the whole year. That is 28,800 if it was last year. If you are referring to previous years, maybe you have not filed your returns for a while, please key in the whole the whole amount. Like if it was 16,896, those back in the day where we had 3944, ensure that you key in the summary of the personal relief for the whole year, even if you only had income for 1 month or 2 months. I think I've mentioned this so many times. So if you have any other thing that is here, you see like total installment tax paid, of course it will sum up here. Withholding tax credits, you key in there. Withholding tax, that is the total of amount if you had any other rental income and all that. So you key in there. Remember that in this case we were talking of withholding tax with the certificates. So you key it here. The summary of those withholding tax that were deducted. So you keep it here. So you'll get your tax due here. It could be a positive or a negative. If it's a positive, it means you have to make a payment to carry. If it is negative, it means you are supposed to get a refund from carry. So once you do that, then you validate. Once you validate, the validated document will go to your documents folder. So you'll come here and then go to returns, file returns. So from there, you select income tax, resident, individual, you click next, and then of course it will display automatically the previous year that you're supposed to file. If you've never filed, then you have to specify the financial year that you are filing the returns for. So you choose your file from the documents, that is the zip file that has been saved in your documents, and then you submit. If it was in a payable position, that is the tax amount was positive, so you have to come to the payments section and then payments registration. So from here, this is where you will generate a payment slip. which you'll use to actually make the payment. So let me just show you. Yes, so you proceed. Yeah, so from there you select which tax are you referring to. Of course, you are talking of income tax. The tax subhead is income tax, resident individual. So you key in there. The payment type, it is self-assessment. Remember that this one you are assessing yourself, so you choose self-assessment. From there, you now select what the amount that it will automatically pop down here. So you select what amount you're supposed to pay, and then you submit. Then you'll get the payment slip. Once you get that payment slip, you use that now to make the payment, which you can do either via M-Pesa or you can go to the bank. It is always easier to do with M-Pesa if the limit is within the M-Pesa limits. That is the transaction limits of M-Pesa. If not that, you can just do the payment directly from the bank. So please ensure that you have a very clear schedule of income and expenses. If you have audited accounts, then you can use it to fill the return. That will be even easy. But I know for most consulting income, it is always not so enormous, and most people do not have external auditor, especially if it is an individual and not company, because in this case I'm talking of an individual person. So, and individuals, by law, it's not necessary that you have an external auditor for your books. So once you have those clear things, file as I've indicated, go to the P&L and do it, go fill the balance sheet as I've indicated, and then you validate, and you'll be good to go. If you have any question, you know where to find me, and I'll assist where necessary. Thank you.
That's it about filing your income if you are a consultant, if you have any withholding certificates. And in case you have any challenge, just as I always share, please reach out to me through my social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or even just comment on this video down there and I'll respond. Thank you. Bye bye.